Encounter is brought to you by the Broome County Council of Churches, where we connect compassion with needs as we inspire growth with dignity. You'll find us in special places throughout the community. For those who remain hungry, we provide meals. For those who are challenged, we build wheelchair ramps. We comfort those who are ill, minister to those who are confined, and we remain an advocate for change and understanding on behalf of every element of our community. Connect and inspire. Encounter the Broome County Council of Churches.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to Encounter with Broome County Council of Churches. My name is Talia Moore, and I'm your host today. Today, we're talking about a very sensitive topic. We're talking about hope for human trafficking, something that a parent or a friend or a daughter, a mother, a sister, an aunt probably could never imagine their loved one being taken away and being used for someone's pleasure or someone's financial gain. Today we have our guests with us. We have Jennifer Rodzinka and we have Salka Valero. And they're gonna get into more about how we as a community can have hope for human trafficking. What can we do to really combat this problem that is in our society, in our community, in our homes, and really how to get in touch with those who have been victims of this senseless crime. Hello, welcome, ladies. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks.
Can you, Jen, can you give us a little bit more information about yourself?
Sure, yeah. My name's Jen. I work at Calvary's Love Church, and I'm from this area, but I spent a lot of my life traveling around the world, and my career's been in animal training for most of my life. But a couple years ago, my life drastically shifted, and I found the Lord, and He changed my life, and He gave me a full-time calling to ministry. So I work up at Calvary's Love Church, and I do a lot of the administrative work, but I also am a leader for many ministries up there, including the anti-human trafficking one that we are birthing right now.
Awesome, cannot wait to hear more about that. And Salka, she is a human rights activist and advocate in our community. Can you give us a little bit more information about you, Salka?
Well, my name is Salka Valero. I work for Safe Harbor, which is a program that helps at-risk youth or youth that have been victim of sexual trafficking. And I also do other volunteer work in the community as far as working with racial justice, economical justice, and environmental things through.
Wow, that is a mouthful. So really, let's get into this conversation. It's such a touchy subject when it comes to talking about different things that we are concerned about, different things that are on our mind as far as mothers and parents and sisters and daughters. And so you started a project called WAR. Can you, Jen, can you give us a little bit more information about that project?
Sure. The WAR project, it's done with an organization out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and WAR stands for Women at Risk. And it's an international organization dedicated to stopping human trafficking globally. And this has become such a problem here in the United States, and it continues to grow. So WAR, they partner with Homeland Security and police officers and firefighters and civilian first responders. So we asked them to come to our area a couple months ago in July, and they did an all-day training for just civilians on what is human trafficking, what does it look like, how to spot it, what to do, how to prevent it. So it was a great opportunity to bring awareness to this area. Wow,
amazing. And with the project, where you were involved in that project, Salka, how was that for you?
It was really good. It was emotional for me because as a survivor from human trafficking, it was just wonderful to see a whole group of people, civilians especially, that are interested to getting educated and to know what to look for.
Amazing. Now, a lot of people really don't understand what human trafficking is. Can you, either of you guys, give them some information about what is human trafficking and why is it so important to look out for some of the things surrounding this issue?
Sure. Well, human trafficking is really, it's just a form of modern day slavery. In simple terms, it's selling humans for either forced labor or for commercial sex acts or just as sexual slavery. When the person doesn't usually have a choice, fraud, coercion, things like that can take place, forcing them. But actually in the United States, the law says that any person under the age of 18, if they participate in a sex act where there's something exchanged for their services, then it is considered human trafficking, even if they chose to do it.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Yep.
So I kind of want to elaborate on so the human trafficking side, and also you would hear the term sexual exploitation. So that term means like preying on someone's vulnerability, basically, into trying to get them to perform sex acts for money, goods, or anything that they might need.
Wow. Now, the community, I mean, our community is small. Broome County, I believe, don't quote me on the numbers, maybe 40 to 50,000 people in our community. Don't quote me. But, you know, people would say in Broome County, that really is not an issue for us. Would you beg to differ on that? Is human trafficking even a problem in our area?
Yeah, human trafficking is everywhere, and a community that is asleep or that is unaware, that's where the traffickers thrive on. So if you're walking around saying, well, human trafficking doesn't happen in this area, that's like telling the traffickers, come here.
Wow.
We don't even know nothing about you situation. And there's been a few cases that have been showing up, especially with the program that I worked at. Young girls have been exposed to traffickers and have been sexually exploited.
Wow. Within this area.
Within this area.
Oh, yeah.
That is something else to even think about. I mean, you say, well, all New York, we'll just put it under New York, or we'll put it all on the, you know, a general big city. But to even say it's in a small city, it really just touches on a personal level. Now, just talking a little bit about the human trafficking and projects that you guys have started in this area, what personally led you to even want to get involved with this cause?
This is something that has just been growing in my heart in the last couple of years since I had my change in my life and found the Lord. And it's just something that I feel so passionate about, and I seem to be crossing paths with people that have been victimized by this. And I just for human rights and really letting people understand that a lot of times this is falsely looked at, where a lot of people will shun it and say, oh, they're prostitutes. But in reality, they are prostituted. So I really have a passion for letting people know that we're treating a lot of these people like criminals when they should be treated like victims, like Salka, unfortunately. So this has really been something that's been growing in me, and I just want so much to just stop it and, you know, just educate people on how to prevent it.
Salka, would you like to expound on that? Personally, how has this affected your life?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I am a survivor. At the age of 14, I was basically tricked into it. So I had issues at home with child abuse, and I met someone at my school, and I trusted them, and I thought they were my friend. And basically, I thought he would be an escape from the situation that I was in at home, and came to realize that he sold me to somebody in New York City to be exploited.
Wow.
So my passion is big on helping, because at the time when I was in the game, that's how you call it, I went through so many channels that a lot of people missed to help me. And even at times where there would be a raid and I would get, you know, trapped in the justice system, and they would just stamp me like I'm just a prostitute on the street. And then, you know, I go out to the courtroom, the pimp is waiting for me, he takes me back, go to community service, he kind of basically bribes them, I don't have to do community service and is on to the next city or town.
Wow. Wow. I mean, what an experience to go through. I cannot even imagine that. And just, there's so many young girls in our community. I myself have a 12-year-old girl, and they're so into their technology. And I see so many times on television or news about how technology has trapped these girls into being tricked into being in uncompromising places where their parents won't know or their friends have brought them there. Can you give our viewers some information about how are they being led into this? Like, how are they being even trapped into human trafficking, or what are some of the signs that they can look for?
So some of the red flags that the youth could look for, because the youth is exposed to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat now, and it makes it even like a broader way and easier for traffickers to kind of seek out their targets. And one of the red flags is, say you're on Facebook and you're on a thread and you're speaking to someone, and someone comments underneath your comment and say, "Oh, can we talk privately?" and inbox me. So that could be one of the red flags. Also, someone asking you to send them pictures is another red flags. Someone asking about, they do things like kind of prey on what's going on in your life. So saying something like, "Oh, I see that you're sad and you post a comment on Facebook. What's going on?"
Right.
That's kind of a way to get into your personal life and then use that later to kind of make it seem like there's someone that's going to help you out your situation, right? And then it turns into some type of relationship. And then next thing you know, the "I love you" comes out too fast. "Are you alone? Would you come visit me? I will pay your ticket." Things like that are red flags. So if you get any type of comments or have conversations like this with somebody online, talk to somebody you can trust. Talk to your parents. It's like, be in a safe place online. It's like, if you're outside in the community, you're not going to walk through a dark valley, right? So, or an alley. So online, same way. Stay where it's public, where everyone, are interacting with each other. Don't go into private chat rooms with people, especially people that you don't know at all or have any type of common interest with. Those things are red flags.
Jen, would you like to expound?
Yeah, that it's true that the guys a lot of times will do that, but what the newest trend we're seeing is the average age of somebody being trafficked is 12 to 14 years old.
Wow.
And it can go much younger. There has been horrific cases of an 8-day-old being trafficked.
That's unimaginable.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there is a market for children, and it's heartbreaking, but it's the truth. So we have to look at that. But the newest trend is 15 and 16-year-old girls recruiting 12 to 14-year-old girls.
Wow.
So if they start making friends with older girls and they start getting invited to parties and things like that, then that can also be a red flag, something to look for.
Wow.
And it also, if you don't feel safe or you don't have anyone that you can trust to speak to, there's a tip line. You could text 741, listen 741-741, and there you can express yourself and not without giving out your name and saying your concerns. And there's also a cyber hotline.
Okay, wow. So yeah, that was my next question. So what are some resources that maybe your organization use, and you're with Safe Harbor as well. So what are some resources that our viewers can get if they're finding themselves in these situations and may need some more support?
Well, if you're a victim of human trafficking or feel that you have been taken advantage of, or you're in a at-risk situation, there's reaching out to organizations like Safe Harbor is a really good opportunity, because it's a government-funded program, and that's not going to come to Broome County unless there's a need for it, right? So it is here. So reaching out to Safe Harbor and letting them know, and they can go from there. They can investigate it, but they are really stacked with resources and things that people may need, or a place to go, or things like that would be good. The human trafficking hotline is always a good number to call, and that's an easy number to remember. It's one, as I'm saying it, it's easy number to remember, right? 1-800-3737. Okay, we're going to come back to that. I have to think about that.
So, and also you can call the Safe Harbor crisis
Yes,
line.
that's a good one.
So you can, because a lot of the times when you call the 1-800, the human trafficking hotline, they kind of partner you with whatever organization that may be in your community that can help out too as well.